Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I hope you can hear me well.
Yes, wonderful. I'm looking forward to hear more about your keynote.
Wonderful. Uh, His Excellency Minister Abbas, Dr. Köppler, Professor Uhlenbrook, dear colleagues, friends, I hope you and your loved ones are and have been healthy and safe during these unprecedented times. I'm very much honored to be an invited speaker in this final conference, showcasing the reports from your impressive work, and I will be tuning in to the presentations and discussions over the next 2 days. When the governments listen to the strong voice of the people about the future that they want, and when they took the ownership of a comprehensive, elaborate, and passionate preparatory process to formulate what it would take to achieve this future, they knew that it would take lasting ambition, determination, and dedication. Now, 5 years into the implementation of the 2030 Sustainable Development Agenda, we know that we are off track in achieving many of the key targets of the Sustainable Development Goals. The 2018 SDG 6 synthesis report of UN Water, to which Professor Uhlenbrook provided the leadership, told us that we were not bold enough to triple the investment needed for drinking water and sanitation. Our ecosystems were declining, water quality degrading, human and institutional capacities not developing fast enough, and we were not transforming our governance structures that would reverse these trends and put us back on the right track. On the hunger track, a decade-long trend of decrease in the number of people suffering from chronic hunger has unfortunately reversed. Global hunger is on the rise for the fifth year in a row, unfortunately, putting the number of people severely food insecure to nearly 700 million. Estimates suggest that COVID-19 can add another 100 million to this figure. While the pandemic has certainly revealed our vulnerabilities, it has also demonstrated the need to strengthen water security as an essential element for combating it and preventing future pandemics. The very first line of defense to the virus, hand washing with safe water and soap, is unavailable at home to 3 billion people. In an equally alarming statistic, a WHO UNICEF study of healthcare facilities in 54 countries found that 35% failed to offer soap and water for hand washing. A survey by the UN Water Global Analysis and Assessment of Sanitation and Drinking Water revealed that 94% of the countries polled have actually plans in place to deliver safe drinking water and sanitation. However, only 15% of these countries reported that they had the funds and human resources needed to implement these plans. According to some estimates, providing access to safe water could cost almost $420 billion a year over the next decade. That translates to 0.5% of the global GDP. To date, the international community has not been able to galvanize the needed investments in safe water, sanitation, and hygiene. We hope that people see the importance of these investments now. When a lack of safe water causes a cholera outbreak or food shortage in a poor country, it's easier to look the other way. When what's at stake is a highly contagious virus capable of crossing the globe, the lack of water security anywhere becomes everyone's problem. This is followed by food security and the need for the integrity of the food chain, starting from sustainable agricultural production to processing, transportation, storage, and consumption. COVID-19 has revealed our vulnerabilities. We must build resilience, and we already have an internationally negotiated framework for transformative change. The 2030 Agenda, with its Sustainable Development Goal 6, is ambitious. It's transformative, it's holistic, and it is needed now more than ever. The holistic look is essential because we don't want to compromise our development objectives by addressing them in silos. It's more essential for maximizing resource efficiencies and the overall return on investment in this post-COVID era. Because of this, UN Water has developed the SDG 6 Global Acceleration Framework as a coordinated input to the United Nations Secretary General's call for a decade of action to deliver the SDGs by 2030. This framework has been collectively developed by UN Water's 32 members and 41 partners. And as countries are responding to the pandemic, it offers a way to address the many water and sanitation related aspects with increased speed, focus, and coherence. The framework aims to deliver fast results in countries at an increased scale. It focuses on 5 key accelerators to unlock country progress on SDG 6: financing, data and information, capacity development, innovation, and governance. A key point of the framework that I would like to emphasize today is that it is driven by country demand and will help align the international community to strengthen country-level planning, implementation, and mutual accountability, with a focus on unlocking known bottlenecks. Because we know that advancing SDG targets can only happen at the local level and with communities actively and thoroughly involved. To this end, UN Water has been piloting its offer to the UN country teams and resident coordinators. UN Water's country-level engagement is supporting the UN development system reform and enables water and sanitation expertise across the UN system and beyond to reach the country level. The requests received since the call less than a year ago focus on supporting country-level coordination and joint action, analysis and data related to water and sanitation issues, and capacity development to improve sanitation services, wastewater management, circular economies, and tackling water scarcity in agriculture. I would like to spend the last few minutes of my address on the SDG 6 Global Acceleration Framework and the very promising agreement between the underlying objectives and the research directions of the GRoW initiative. I mentioned earlier the 5 key accelerators that form the foundation of the acceleration framework: financing, data and information, capacity development, innovation, and governance. Let me share a few examples of purpose-driven coordination actions for several accelerators for which I see potential for concrete contributions from your research in particular and from the intersection of science, policy, businesses, and practice in general. On top of my list, governance, which is a good accelerator for promoting integrated water and sanitation solutions to achieve SDG Target 6.1 on drinking water access. Governance can play a role in developing a spatial approach that goes beyond municipal boundaries and considers effective management of infrastructure systems with focus on integrated urban and territorial planning, proper land use management, and legislation, thus linking multiple levels from very local to national and supranational. I see this very visibly coming out in your research as a cross-cutting area. To address SDG Target 6.3 on water quality and wastewater, leveraging innovation in wastewater treatment and safe use is an excellent accelerator for us to reduce ambient water pollution and improve water and nutrient availability for agriculture. And when it comes to Target 6.A on cooperation, we can look at financing and how the business community, governmental entities at various levels, and practitioners can collectively create enabling environments that make investing in water both responsible and profitable for all. Last but not the least, addressing the issues carrying over from the 20th century with the science and technology of the 21st century requires vision and leadership that will make the much needed transformation possible. Looking forward, all projections indicate that the competition for our planet's natural resources will increase with a global growing population, its mobility, the consequences of socioeconomic development, and changing lifestyles, all stressed further by the impacts of climate change. Agriculture will need to be a lot more productive and resource efficient to meet the projected 50% increase in the food demand by 2050. An intensification of agriculture in developing countries to respond to this need will have to use much less water to produce much more crops, use land and soil more sustainably, look after equity issues, including gender equality and the livelihoods of small producers, and help maintain and enhance the services of our ecosystems. The GRoW initiative and the work done as a part of it are very much in this spirit and in strong support of the efforts to accelerate SDG 6 and bridging science, policy, and implementation. In this regard, I would like to inform you of a brand new initiative of the Water Policy Group, of which I am a member. Global Water Policy Report, based on a survey of national policy markers and aligning with the SDG 6 targets and the Global Acceleration Framework, with a special section on the annual Global Water Theme set by UN Water. I would like to take this opportunity to make a call and encourage the GRoW project leaders to record their work on the SDG 6 action space of UN Water, where their value added can more visibly come out. I applaud you and the German Ministry of Education and Research for this important undertaking and wish you the best of success in implementing and scaling up your projects. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ünver. Thank you so much. And of course, thanks for joining us in a digital way. If you have any questions now it's the time to ask your questions to our keynote speaker. And also, of course, dear participants in the live stream, please use the chat for your questions. I'm going to get the questions here on the iPad. Mr. Ünver, you were telling us, and you were actually quoting that we are not bold enough. So, direct question, how do we get more courage? Or what would you say? What are your priorities?
Yes, we were not bold enough to make the necessary changes and invest strategically. And I think investing strategically has become one of the key points in the post-COVID era when the whole world understood the value and the need for water and sanitation, but not only for hand washing, but for all the purposes that it serves. And this is an opportunity to combine the efforts and channelize them into investments that will address the immediate issues that we are facing right now, regarding dealing with the pandemic and immediate aftermath of the pandemic, including coming out of the economic crisis and downturn it caused, and see also the income generation and job creation potential of water investments, in addition to all its benefits and uses, and make this on the basis of evidence coming from the scientific community. And I think it's the message here is not only to the scientific community, which is represented in this meeting, but to the policymakers around the world, and the businesses that have a huge stake in investing in water.
Thank you so much.